So we're told a bunch of Jewish guys who kept the Jewish law, who went to all of the Jewish high holy days, who went to Sabbath, who attended the synagogue, who dressed like Jews, talked like Jews, acted like Jews, were Jews. We're told that those guys started a religion based on a Jewish Messiah, and yet that religion looks absolutely nothing like Judaism or anything Judaic in origin or nature. And it looks a whole lot like Roman stuff. And you have to wonder why. And I think it's a question worth asking. And today we are going to ask that question. Why is Judeo Christianity so Roman? I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, and we're here to talk about that today. We'll also be back tonight at 9 p.m. Central. We're going to talk about the year in review, the top 10 videos of last year on this channel. Take a look at those and talk about those. So look forward to that tonight as well. And we're going to talk about a lot of interesting stuff, but I remember it's not the first time I thought about this, but as I was reading Joseph Atwell's book, it became even more clear to me, Caesar's Messiah. But we're told that modern Christianity came out of a Jewish prophet with Jewish disciples and went to Jewish synagogue, kept Jewish holy days, were good observant Jews. But when you look at it, you look at the early forms of Christianity, and especially the way it is today, you don't see Judea there. You see Rome. And you have to ask yourselves why. All the structures of authority, the sacraments, the College of Bishops, the Supreme Pontiff, i.e. the Pope, are all based upon Judaic traditions, ladies and gentlemen, we're all based on Roman traditions, right? Not Judaic traditions. How come there is zero Judaic influence upon what is supposedly Judeo Christianity? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. And it proves that there is something really, really wrong. Why weren't people going? Why weren't the early gatherings called synagogue? Why weren't the early gatherings called temple? Why weren't their early leaders called priests? Why didn't they have Torah reading? Why weren't they kosher? Why didn't they keep the Judaic laws of diet and things of that nature? Why? Doesn't make any sense. Oh, those things were all law of Moses. No, those things weren't law of Moses. Those things just are about being a Jewish person. And we all are taught that Jesus was a Jew and all the disciples were Jews. But if you put all of the evidence and took them to court, there wouldn't be enough evidence to convict Jesus or any of the disciples of being a Jew. They didn't look like Jews, didn't talk like Jews, didn't act like Jews, didn't do what Jews would do. They didn't look like Jews at all, but they looked an awfully lot like Romans. They acted an awfully lot like Romans. They talked an awfully lot like Romans. The stuff they did was stuff that Romans do. The way they structured their organization was very, very Roman. And you've got to wonder why. And really, it's as obvious as it can be, but somehow it can't be stated, it can't be said, because it's taken as heresy, it's taken as apostasy. But why is there zero Judaic influence in what is supposedly Judeo-Christianity? And the worldview of the religion too, Christianity, the worldview of the Christian religion was decidedly Roman. Decidedly Roman. And it continues to be decidedly Roman today. Do you know that Judaism is not evangelical at all? Did you know that Judaism is not evangelistic at all? They never try to get anybody to accept Messiah. They don't go door to door. They don't talk about it. They don't invite you to synagogue. Basically, they don't care if you're not a Jew. They really don't want you there. And in fact, it's kind of hard to become a Jew if you want to become a Jew. Just ask our buddy Wayne Steiger. He asked if he could become a Jew, and they said, please don't. So how does a religion that doesn't want you to join them become a religion that says, if you don't join us, you're going to hell? Very, very interesting, isn't it? But yet, if you look at the Roman Empire, what was the Roman Empire's goal? The Roman Empire saw itself as ordained by God to spread throughout the world and conquer every single person. Do you know that before Christianity, no other religion had ever seen itself as destined to conquer or to become the religion of all mankind? Isn't it interesting that the Roman Empire wanted to conquer the whole world and make everything Roman, and Christianity to this day, ladies and gentlemen, wants to conquer the world and make everybody in the world Christian. They spend billions of dollars on missions, it's called. And, you know, it's odd to me because the Christians are always complaining and warning about this one world religion. Oh, be careful of a one world religion. They're going to try to force one world religion on us. That's very clever. When you're telling people to worry about a one world religion, while you yourselves are trying to become a one world religion. And let me ask you this, my Christian friend, if Jesus was real, and if he did come back, which he isn't, and if he did set up his temple in Jerusalem and rule from Jerusalem, which he won't, how many religions would there be in the world? I'll wait. One. Now, wait a minute. You've told me that the Antichrist wants to come back and create one world religion. You even told me the Antichrist wants to come back and rule from Rome or from Judea, from Jerusalem. Are you telling me that your Jesus Christ is the Antichrist? Well, if you are, you're right. But you didn't think that through, did you? Oh, watch out for one world religion, but we want to be one world religion. Judaism, non-evangelistic. In fact, can't even hardly become a Jew, even if you want to. Very, very hard. It's the exact opposite of evangelical Christianity and has been from its very beginning. So, folks, we have to face the fact that the beginning of Christianity really wasn't Judaic. We're told it was, but as we look at all the evidence and as we look at all the fruit, so-called, we look at how it acts, what it does, it's not Judaic at all. Not in the least bit is it Judaic. So what was the beginning, really, of this thing called Christianity? And even the Christian, quote unquote, Messiah, this Jesus character, he's the exact opposite of the Jewish one. Ask any rabbi you happen to see what the Messiah is going to be like, what the Messiah is going to do. And ask any rabbi you happen to see what the Jews in first century Judea were expecting the Messiah to come and do and be. They were expecting him to come and deliver them from Rome. They're expecting him to come and be a Messiah king that would free them from Judaism or free them from Roman bondage and allow Judaism to be free and on its own. They were looking for freedom from Rome. That's what they were looking for. But funny enough, the Christian Messiah, well, he advocates for peace with Rome. He advocates to follow Rome. He advocates to honor Rome. The Christian Messiah said if a Roman soldier makes you carry his pack for 1 mile, carry it for 2 miles. The Christian Messiah said, if a Roman soldier smacks you on the right cheek, turn your left cheek to him. The Christian Messiah said that you should give taxes and everything unto Caesar because Caesar is God. I showed you that the other day, that Jesus himself said, and Paul said, that Caesar is God. Read Romans 13 if you think I'm wrong. Interesting. The Christian Messiah, the exact opposite of the so-called Roman, or the Christian Messiah, the opposite of the so-called Jewish Messiah. It's not the same religion. There is no such thing as Judeo Christianity. It's a lie, and we have been deceived. And one way for you to not be deceived, and one way for you to be able to think better and more clearly, is to keep yourself at the original human residence of this planet, to keep your cells in chaos, to keep your blood flowing and flowing very efficiently, to remove pathogens from your blood and minimize them. And that's what these spiffy Mystech bracelets do. You can go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Mystech logo, click on the Mystech tab, and today and tomorrow, we have reinstated the 30% off special for New Year's, and we're looking forward to helping you find out what it's like to be in harmony and not in chaos in 2020. I want to look at something that's going to blow your mind. I want to look at the oldest surviving Christian record, the oldest written surviving Christian record. And it's called the Epistle of Clement to the Corinthians. It's been dated to 96 AD. Whether it was or not, we're not sure, but we do know that it's the oldest Christian document in existence, the oldest one that they can hold, parchment, whatever it's on. Here it is. This is a real document. We've got it. It's the oldest one, 96 AD. The Epistle of Clement to the Corinthians. And it was dated to AD 96. It was written to address a rebellion in Corinth. The Corinthians were getting all up in arms. And this is what it says. It says, the church of God which sojourneth in Rome, to the church of God that sojourneth in Corinth. Which is interesting because even in AD 96, Rome was telling Corinth what to do with authority. So anyway, Church of God in Rome, Clement was the leader. Many say he was the first pope. Clement told the people in Corinth, let us mark, or let us use this as an example. Let us look to, for an example, the soldiers that are enlisted under our rulers. Writing from Rome is a Roman looking at the Roman army and saying, let us use the Roman soldiers as an example. Ladies and gentlemen, Christians, your oldest Christian document says, let's use for an example, let's mark the Roman soldiers that are enlisted under our rulers. How exactly, Clement writes? How exactly? I mean, they don't do it sort of what the rulers want. They do what the rulers want exactly. How readily, that means fast, now, boom. How submissively they execute the orders given them. So here's the leader of the Christian church in 96 AD. Every Christian alive says, oh yeah, Clement was the leader of the church. Telling the leader of the church in Corinth with authority, be a good soldier, act like the soldiers in the Roman army. When we tell you to do something, do it exactly. When we tell you to do something, do it quickly. When we tell you to do something, do it submissively. When we give you orders, execute the orders that are given you. In other words, when we say jump, you say how high. That is the oldest document that we have for the functioning of the Christian church. And isn't it amazing, ladies and gentlemen, that Judeo Christian had from its beginning the organization, the functioning and the top-down authoritarian structure of the Roman military structure. Oh, well, that's not how we are. I'm a Protestant. Oh, really? You're a Protestant. I see. Well, if the pastor tells you to do something and you don't, and what does the pastor say? Let us do exactly, readily, submissively the orders executed by the pastor or the orders executed by the state presbyter or by the bishop. You guys are Catholics that aren't afraid of holy water. That's the only difference. It's Roman Catholicism and Roman Protestantism. You're both from the same. The list of what is different between you is as long as my little finger. The list of what is common between you will go from here to wherever you are. Christianity, worried about a one world religion when they are the one world religion. Christianity, worrying and warning about a one world government when they are the one world government. Rome. Isn't that sneaky? Isn't that something? Let's warn about something while we're doing it ourselves. What a great plan. And if Christianity was Judeo Christianity, why is Rome the headquarters? Why weren't the headquarters somewhere in Judea? Why weren't the headquarters in Jerusalem? If it's Judeo Christianity, and if it's Judeo Christianity, why were the first converts of Christianity the members of the imperial family, the Flavians in Rome? Isn't that really interesting, ladies and gentlemen? If you forget what you've been told, if you forget what you've been sold, if you forget the lies that you've been told, and if you think for yourself, and if you look at the evidence, Christianity is not Judaic. Christianity has nothing to do with Judaism. Christianity is thoroughly Roman in its origins, in its doctrine, in its practice. Christianity looks like a Roman. It walks like a Roman. It sounds like a Roman. I know you're hearing the song about walking like the Egyptians, but in this case, you walk like the Romans, you talk like the Romans because it is Roman. Christianity was invented by the Roman Flavian emperors, and they wove in try to leverage Judaic typology and Judaic history to placate militaristic Jews and create a religion that would not only put them down, but put down the rest of the world. Isn't it amazing? They create a religion that's designed to conquer and become a one world religion while warning about the dangers of a one world religion. And they create a religion that is destined to conquer the earth and become a one world government while warring against the one world government. Christianity is a lie. It's a racket. It is a story invented in Rome to fool you and to trick you into worshiping the Roman Caesars and to following their religion. And you've been had for 2,000 years. But now the truth is coming out, and you can see the reason why Judeo-Christianity is so Roman is because it's not Judeo at all. It's purely Roman, and the Judeo was just thrown in there to be a deception. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to wake up. You got to realize that it's not Judeo-Christianity. It's Romeo-Christianity, and you've been had. And if you don't believe that, then you simply do not have the capacity to think objectively. You simply do not have the capacity to think rationally, and you don't have the guts to admit when you're wrong, and you'd rather stay wrong because of your inflated ego than to actually admit that you've been wrong, change, and start doing right. And I have a lot of, I was going to say empathy, but really it's more like disgust for you if that's what you choose to do. but it is up to you. Let's go ahead and go into the chat room and see what people have to say about this subject, about what we've been talking about here tonight. If you really want to know about the Tower of Babel, then why don't you go on the channel and search the Tower of Babel, because there's at least 2 videos there, and not ask me during a subject that's not about the Tower of Babel, because I'm not going to answer you right now. Leaven's like cancer, it spreads, eventually kills. Yep, that's what we're here, giving chemo treatments. Tracy says whoever wrote the Christian Bible added the Hebrew scriptures to give their story credibility. Rabbis will tell you that the Judaism, the New Testament, is flawed. It's misquoted and totally out of context stuff. That's true. And let me touch that just for a minute. But before we do that, I do want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, to go to jeffreydaugherty.com and click on the Focus Life Force Energy logo, the fluffy logo. They will beam a nurturing, high consciousness environment to your telephone or to your home and or to your phone. And they give you a 15-day free trial for each. Ooh, that's hot. You do not even have to list a credit card. It's living in the Dawkins high scale, high frequency, high scale. I can't think of the word right now, but you know what I'm talking about. And it doesn't necessarily make you that, but it puts you in that. And if you're in that on a regular basis, it helps you to actually grow and to become into that higher, more high frequency state. So go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Focused Life Force Energy logo. Fantastic stuff. You'll be happy that you did. Tracy's talking about Judaism, Old Testament Judaism, Judaism in the New Testament. Well, there's so much more to that story, Tracy, because what people don't realize is that when Jerusalem was destroyed in AD 70, we know that marked the end of whatever Jewish movements were going on then spiritually. We know it marked the end of the Messianic movement. We know it marked the end of this nascent, we don't even know what we know, but we know it did mark the end of the Jewish Messianic movement. We know it marked the beginning of Christianity, but you know what else it marked the end of? Old style Judaism. And it marked the beginning of what is called Rabbinic Judaism. There's the Babylonian Talmud and there's the Jerusalem Talmud. And all Judaism as practiced today is based out of AD 70 and 4 rabbinic writings. And we're going to start looking at that when we get through looking at the invention of Christianity. I've told you and I've proven to you and continuing to prove to you that Rome invented Christianity. I'll take the next step and prove to you that Rome invented rabbinical Judaism as we know it today. And we'll also take the next step and show you that Rome invented Islam as we know it today. The religions really, as we know them today, are not Abrahamic religions. They're Roman religions. Roman Christianity, Roman Rabbinic Judaism, Roman Islam. I know you think I'm crazy. I know you think I'm stupid. I know you think I don't know what I'm talking about. And all I can say to you is stay tuned. Stay tuned. You will be amazed what you hear, what you learn, what you see. Joyce Marie talks about that 1,000-year thing. We're going into that deep. Please keep in mind. The stems in Hebrew leaning left or right can add a good or bad understanding to their words in Paleo. My eyes just glossed over and I fell asleep for a minute. I'm sorry. They both have the 10 Commandments in the Christian version. Again, there's only one version. But anyway, that's interesting. Judeo Christianity, give a feeling of inclusion. It's trying to make you think it can't. It's a bluff maneuver. I'm trying to think of, my vocabulary is fleeing me tonight for some reason. It's a subterfuge. It's like a spy, make you think it's Judeo so you don't realize that it's really Roman. It's a diversion, ladies and gentlemen. It is a diversion. Okay, let's continue on. What do we got here? The 10 Commandments Christianity clings to aren't even the commandments. And they are, we need to look at those 10 commandments as the commandments of Rome, because that's what they are. And I've looked at them. Remember how I looked at them? The 10 commandments, well, that was the Beatitudes, how the Beatitudes are the blessed art thou, blessed are the blah, 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 for they shall blah, blah, blah. We showed how that's all designed to keep you docile, content, and in your Stockholm syndrome within the fear and guilt blood magic control matrix. The 10 commandments, Roman style. I need to write that down. So I'm out of the reach of paper. 10 commandments, Roman style. I got to remember that. 10 commandments, Roman style. That's a good one. The religions are aware that they're scamming people, and so are the religious people. They're aware they're scamming you. Of course they are. Those especially that are of the blood magic Christian fear and guilt control matrix, absolutely. Everyone that you hear that talks about Jesus, crosses, salvation, atonement, getting saved, our Lord, our Savior, Father, Jesus, live in my heart, they all know that they're lying, or they're completely delusional. Take your choice of which one you would rather follow. Lisa says they're both MFers in the same club of greed and control. Absolutely. Absolutely. What else we got here? Oh, thank you. What we're going to write down, 10 Commandments, Roman style. There we go. That'll be a good one and a necessary one. Let's see. The last time someone commanded me, I laughed. That's funny. That's funny. All my favorites are live right now. Okay, good for you. So is Jesus the Prince of Peace, but he's coming back with a sword? Yeah, there you go. That's interesting, isn't it? And not just a sword, but a Roman short sword. And do you know how evangelism was accomplished in the early days of the church? The priest went with the Roman armies, and when the Roman armies marched in, the priest came behind and said, "Convert or die." As a result, their conversion rates were very high, and their preaching was very persuasive. Isn't that interesting, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't that interesting? Let's see. If it was Judaic, it would be the Pesach and it would be Hanukkah. Yeah, we wouldn't be celebrating Christmas. What's Pesach? Why don't I know that? I wonder if it's spelled right. Let's see. Let's see what else we got. I think I can provide some Jewish input from a Jewish perspective. Okay. Let's see. Judeo Christian term is very misleading, says Samuel, and I agree 100%. Let's see. It's very hard to become Jewish. You have to go to temple for a year. You get denied 3 times before you're accepted, if at all, into Judaism. It's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. What else we got here? Christianity is an imperial religion. Absolutely 100% true. Absolutely 100% true. What else we got here? Thank you, Norseman. I appreciate you. I don't know what my Freudian slip was, but the vampire was the Antichrist. That's funny. That's funny. And Victorian Greyjoy says, Judaism, Islam, all allow murder, subjugation, suppression of females. Absolutely. Boom, right on target, says Gabe. Thank you so much. The one world religion of Rome, says Samuel. Absolutely. When I was a Christian, I was in fear of having to accept beliefs other than Christianity. How about that? Who ever heard of a Jew named Jesus? Yeah. Try to find Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Philip, Matthew. Try to find those guys in first century Judea. Of course, you wouldn't have. That's raw 10. Thank you for that. Luke wasn't a Jew either. That's true. None of them were. I doubt any Jew was named that 2,000 years ago. You're right. Jesus is made up. wherever he's from. He is political, no doubt about it. Sounds like Jeff likes Kabbalah magic. Don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. Rome hijacked the Messiah story and stuck a pretty little bow on it. Not true, Kim. Rome crushed the Messiah story, completely contradicted it, and made it into something completely antithetical to what it was. Basically, the Messiah, as I already said, was supposed to come and free them from Roman bondage, and instead they created a Messiah that led them into willful Roman subjection. Boom. The twisting of history and the truth has gone on for centuries. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. What else we got? Carry Joe's Packer gets smacked on both cheeks. That's funny. They would snip a man again, a little converting to Judaism. That's true. And you get a new name also. That's interesting. Wow. The Caesars of Rome are still with us. Yes, indeed, they are. The Caesars of Rome are still with us, ladies and gentlemen. And just at that time of talking about getting a little snip, we've got a war going on human sexuality. We've got a war going on against male virility. Male virility is crashing. Sperm count is crashing. Even our young men aren't able to get and maintain a healthy erection. And make no doubt about it, ladies and gentlemen, it is an attack on masculinity. It's an attack on our most basic of relationships. It is an attack on sexuality. It's an attack on our ability to procreate, an attack on our ability to manifest our intentions. And to fight back against this attack, not only are we working with Jay Campbell to help you get yourself physically optimized, we're also working together with Jay and Joe Rogan and some other great people to bring you the rocket. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the rocket logo. It brings treatment that's only available at about 500 per pop in clinics, brings it to you in your home. Use it to break up the microplaque that is built up in the male penis due to the GMOs and due to the chemtrails and due to all of the soy boy products that have been pumped into us. Take control of your penis and take control of your life again. I don't care who the man is. If he can't get and maintain an erection, he doesn't feel like a man. I don't care who the woman is. If her man can't get and maintain an erection, she doesn't feel like a real woman either. We are fighting back against the attack on male virility. We're fighting back against the attack on human sexuality. And we're fighting back against the attack on our ability to learn to manifest our intentions in the most powerful way possible. Get the rocket. It's on sale right now for, I think, a third of the price. Don't know how long, but go to jeffreydaugherty.com, hit that rocket logo. And that is really good stuff. Clement was a Flavian. Absolutely. Samuel's been doing some studying. And isn't that amazing, too? The oldest Christian document that's still around was written by a Flavian. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine that. That's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy. Jeff, have you ever studied Jesus as being another version of the solar myth? That's not what we're here to talk about, and that's not the Jesus we're talking about, and we're not going to talk about it. Wasn't Paul telling the Greeks about the Jesus myth? He was telling people about Jesus, who was Titus Caesar. He was helping convert the Greeks to being good Roman citizens. Let's see. What else we got here? The Romans cynically lied to the world for 2,000 years. It's not called lying. It's called propaganda, ladies and gentlemen. It's called propaganda. RVS isn't afraid of death. Well, then you've been set free. You have been set free. Let's see. The Bible belongs in the East, the Quran in the West. The Bible was made up by the Romans. The Quran was made up by the Romans. They both belong in the garbage and on fire. Kenny says most of America is a copy of Rome. He's right. He is right. What else we got here? Counterfeit Jerusalem, counterfeit Judaism. That's Christianity. Absolutely. Absolutely. What else we got here? I can't give legal advice, nor will I, RVS, so please quit asking that. What else we got here? I thought that the Jews were still waiting for their Messiah, and they never recognized Jesus as their Messiah. Well, he wasn't. And I don't know if they are still waiting, but guess what? That guy ain't showing up either. But that's none of my business because I'm not a Jew and I don't really care. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what else we got? What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? I lost my track here like I always do. Man, there's a lot of people in here today. Again, I'll be back at 9. We'll talk about the top 10 videos of this year on this channel. And we won't go through them all, obviously, but we'll take a look at them. We'll talk about them, and we'll learn about some. And it's just going to be a fun little show. I think it's going to bring a lot to you. And man, there is just so much stuff in here. It's amazing. I'll never be able to get through all this. I appreciate you all for being here, but there's just no way I can get to all of these great comments and all of these great questions. It's just a bunch of them. And we do appreciate you all being here. Jeff is telling the truth, says Jama. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Michelle is in Abilene. Nice to see you there in Abilene. And our thoughts go out to the people that had the tragedy just east of you and White Settlement. Some weird stuff coming out of that too, ladies and gentlemen. Weird stuff coming out of that. Let's see. Humans are the real aliens. I don't know about that, but that's also very, very interesting. Rome subsidized rabbinical Judaism. I don't want to let it out of the bag, Samuel, but let's just say that the guy that is credited with creating rabbinical Judaism, there's a couple stories, but the one story says he shot an arrow out of Jerusalem towards the Roman ranks that says, I want to defect. He got in a coffin, pretended he was dead. They took him through the walls. He went, and again, it's not a true story, so there's a couple of different versions of it. He either saw Vespasian or he saw Titus, and they accepted his surrender. And from that day, the Roman government gave grants and built beautiful places for rabbinical Judaism to get started and grow and develop. Tell me that's not but it happened. And we're going to talk about it in detail, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Samuel, for bringing that out. That's a head scratcher, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. I think you're onto something, Jeff. That's because I am Andromeda. Thank you so much. The Essenes were the forerunners of the Christian communities. Norsemen, what if I told you that all of the objective scholars that have ever looked at it, and I have told you this in the video, say the Essenes never existed. They were made up too. And oh yeah, you know what they like to do? They like to take in little boys that were orphans. Wonder what they did with them. Interesting. If they existed. And if they did exist, they were just like the Sadducees and Pharisees. In fact, they were a stricter version of Sadducees and Pharisees if they existed. But again, most people say they never existed. Sorry, but they never existed. I'm here to tell you the truth, no matter how much it pisses you off. And I'm going to keep doing it. And I haven't even started doing it. I hope you'll come back tonight at 9 p.m. I'll give you just a little bitty preview. I've been doing this since 2012, this channel, but I really didn't do it seriously until 2015. And from 2012 till 2015, we had about 3 million views on the channel in that 2012 to 2000, what is this, 20? Yeah, till about 2015, 16, we had 3 million views total in all that time. Last year, we had 3 million views. Well, Jeff, why isn't your channel growing? Cousin, this channel is exploding. We had 3 million views last year. Half the growth of this channel was in the last year. We're exploding. Just because we're not buying subscribers, don't get confused into thinking that this channel isn't growing. Stay tuned. That's just a little tidbit, but we're going to look at the top 10 videos of last year, and they're surprising, some of them. They really are. One of the top 10 videos from last year was from 2014, and it's still a top 10 video of 2019. That's craziness, ladies and gentlemen. That is craziness. Wow. And there's always someone that sneaks in that, and okay, thank you so much. Who is that? Let me click on that and see who that is. Norseman, I thought so. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you very much. He says I'm pissed. Let's see. What did we get here? What do we get here? What do we get here? Let's see. Let's rewrite the 10 commandments. How about we just don't have any commandments? And Lynn Crothers says, the Bible doesn't say you have to be a Christian. It gives complete free will. The Catholic Church say you have to be Catholic. The Protestants refuse the teachings of Rome. Lynn, I know that you're new here, and I know that you probably haven't watched a video of mine before, but sweetheart, you are what we call locked deeply into confirmation bias. You're locked deeply into cognitive dissonance, and you are locked deeply into spiritual Stockholm syndrome. The Bible was written by Rome. It isn't real. Jesus was made up by Rome. He isn't real. It's all written to fool you and trick you, and fooled and tricked you are, sweetheart. The Bible is written to make sure you don't have free will. The Bible is written to make sure that you think you've got original sin when you've got the spark of divinity within. The Bible is written to make you think that you are a sinner in need of salvation, and they've got the only Savior. When you don't have original sin, you've got the kingdom of God and the spark of divinity within. Christianity is written, the Bible's written to keep you in a fear and guilt, blood magic, control matrix. You've got to realize that. You'll never be free until you get free of the Bible and its blood-stained pages. There's a reason why those red letters are red. They're red with the blood of billions of martyrs who have died at the hand of the diabolical little g God of the Bible. Do you really want to have a faith that's based on a human sacrifice? Do you really want to have a faith that's based on a father that killed his own son by torture and makes you drink the blood and eat the flesh? Do you really want to have a faith that says you got to get on your knees, surrender, give your soul to somebody, and ask two spirits, one called Father, one called Jesus, to come and possess you? Do you want that faith? If you do, it's up to you. But my advice is that you think it all over. Ladies and gentlemen, kind of tactic evangelicals use, turn or burn. Oh, Pashka is what she was writing. I got it. Passover. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Jeffrey, why doesn't the Bible prophesy about itself if it's the word of God? Why doesn't the Bible prophesy about it? It's not the word of God. Convert or die. That's the way they do it. Let's see what else we got. Jesus was sacrificed. Jesus wasn't real. Let's see what else we got. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody writing in Hebrew. Great, Ray. Thanks for that. That kind of creeps me out a little bit, so I'm going to remove it because I don't know what it says. I don't know if it would be something that would be cursing and stuff like that. And I know that some of you don't like to hear stuff like this, but you shouldn't watch people showing sigils and stuff on video because you don't know what those things mean. And when you're watching a movie or a video and they start quoting like an incantation or a spell or something, do things like make noise, break it up. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know what the incantation is. You don't know what the spell is. So make noise, pretend you're Rex Bear for a minute. And don't, if people are showing sigils and stuff, don't look at that stuff. Turn it off, because they have power just by their appearance. It's called bad magical hygiene. It's sloppy solo witches that really need some stitches, don't know what they're doing, shouldn't be doing it. It's wrong. But anyway, we'll get back on track. Sorry for the host getting off of track. And White Eagle Hodges, you don't know Joe Rogan. You're repeating stuff about Joe Rogan. So just stop. Please just stop. Please just stop. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, strap on the rocket. It'll bring a man up. We don't strap it on, but yeah, it will bring a man up. Samuel says he's a Jew and he's not Caucasian. That's interesting. Thank you for clearing that up. Thank you for clearing that up. I appreciate it. B. Joe Gasmick. That's funny. Thoughts about Freemasonry. Freemasonry is, how do you describe Freemasonry? Freemasonry is Jesuitism for Catholics, or Jesuitism for Protestants. We're going to get deep into Freemasonry, as deep as we can get. But Freemasonry and the Jesuits go together, as that great American philosopher Forrest Gump would have said, like peas and carrots. There you go. The Witcher is a different show to follow. The Witcher is an interesting show. It really is. Gnostic sigils are universally used. Yeah, I don't think you should be watching those things. I don't think you should be watching those things. I know, I was just reading about them in the Golden Dawn literature. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the chat. I didn't think we'd get here, but we did. Why is Judeo Christianity so Roman? Because it's not Judeo at all. It is thoroughly Roman. The Judeo part was just a subterfuge and a subterfuge and a diversion to keep you from realizing right off what it was and what it is. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. We'll be back at 9 p.m. Central, just over 3 hours from now. Please do give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending upon how you felt about the program. If you tap the bell, you'll be notified whenever we go live, which we do at least a couple times a day now. And we're just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. We really are. We're just getting started. We have, it took us 5 years. Last year, we got to where we hadn't been in 5 years. We did 5 years worth of work in one. I think we can do it again. We're getting started. We're picking up speed. We're ready to take off. This week, I believe it's on Tuesday, we've got David Weiss from the Dearth Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole channel going to come on and talk about, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of the big rockets are actually balloons. That is going to be very, very interesting. And don't forget about the Hero Soap. You can go to jeffreydaugherty.com and click on the American flag logo, Hero Soap. Let freedom clean. While you're unindoctrinating yourself, you might as well smell good, feel good, and be super squeaky clean. Our sponsors are all designed to help you unindoctrinate yourself and live a life that's more abundant. Until 9 o'clock tonight, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. I salute you for being here, seeking after truth. And again, folks, we are here to help you guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, and be your own guru. And there's never been a better time than right now to unindoctrinate yourself. So let's get busy.